have more people fifth period. Way more people. Yet we still get more done normally than y'all. That's so weird. That's so strange. Does that mean you're more focused the hour before you have me? I don't know. Strange. Curious. Okay, I want to go over these math workshop problems. And then he already called it. And then Grant, he asked me a few minutes ago. And then I want to talk about your textbook. Okay, that's nice. And then I want to talk about your textbook stuff from yesterday and make sure we're on the same page, because I know like one from each group is on my same page, but as for your overall group is on my page, I don't think so.
Oh no, I'm sticky.
My ADHD is not going to kick in. I'm going to focus. I'm going to get it done. Grant, please help my ADHD self and start with number 7. You asked for it. 2. He gets a point for that. Next one, 243. You know Jim's going to steal them all if no one's got them. Yes, dear. Go ahead, Jim.
9. The little thingy. 3.
Okay, and it is correct because 81 times 3 is 243. The square root of 81 is 9, and so it's 9 root 3. Jim likes these. He likes these. Yes, you get a point. You get a point. No, he's just normally quiet. Okay, let's go to number 9. Oh, Lauren, bless you. It is. Thank you, Lauren, for being on check today. So you get a point for that. It is 121 times 5, which is 11 square root of 5. Okay, now for number 10. It's square root of 338. Yeah. Oh, anyone else want to? Oh, I'm going to. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
13 square root 2.
That is correct because it's 169 times 2. The square root of 169 is 13, so it's 13 square root of 2. Jim's group gets another point. Oh, I know you know the next one. Let's see if someone else got it. Hold on one sec. What's that? Yes, Lauren, number 11. That is correct. So it's 25 times 6. Grant already asked for it. It's 25 times 6, so it's 5 square root of 6. Grant, do you mind if Forrest gets this one because he hadn't had one today?
No, go ahead, Grant.
Oh my gosh, someone tell me the answer so I can move on with my life. No. Yeah, Forrest got it.
There you go.
Okay, because it's 4 times 6 and the square root of 4 is 2. Perfect. Okay, those who, I don't know, I've noticed the pattern with them, and they're just going to fail the math workshop test. Bless their hearts. I told you there's a math workshop test. What day is it on?
Tuesday.
And your group gets a point because I heard you the first, Lord Jesus.
Wait a minute.
I heard you first.
Looking at these sheets, you gonna pull stuff
Hey,
off.
but it's gonna be another
No. You said there was gonna be stuff.
I said, and then so Brittany wants a recap of what I said yesterday, which is smart because not everyone was here yesterday, and some people definitely weren't on Earth yesterday. There is a math workshop test on Tuesday. Unlike my other classes, you get to have your math workshops out. However, I'm smart, so I'm not going to have that exact problem on there or that exact problem on there. You're not going to find duplicates. They'll be similar, and maybe you can use these to help you study or help you figure something out. But otherwise, no. We did discuss, I see you, let me finish my rant, and I call you Misha. Put your hand down, I'll remember. Okay, I did say on Monday I would remind you about which one specifically to study. So I'll point out, like, which word problems you should study. But Allison's been paying attention. She knows we've done a lot of simplifying radicals. She knows there's going to be some like that. We've done a lot of factoring ones. There's going to be some like that. She already knows that. She would like for me to fill in the blank with the rest, but she already knows that. It would be smart of you to be looking over your math workshops before your test on Tuesday. Okay, Misha, you had a question.
Why didn't we do 1 through 6?
Oh, we are going to, oh, God bless you, because I forgot to say those words. Okay, I went to 7 through 12 today. You can have a point for that, too. I went to 7 through 12 today because I know Jim likes them, and I know those are, to me, the easiest on the sheet. We're going to do 1 through 6 tomorrow. 1 through 6 tomorrow, so if you're trying to get ahead, we're doing 1 through 6 tomorrow. Some of those are a little harder than usual. I'll tell you that 1 and 5 are easy. But then there are some with 4 terms, and we have to do something called grouping. You may or may not remember that. You may or may not know how to do that. We'll get to that tomorrow. Okay, so math workshop test is Tuesday, but there's also something else on Tuesday. What else is happening on Tuesday? And Brittany said it first. You have a very, very short truth table test. 5 problems only. 5 problems only. In fact, I'm about to go over one of the problems. 5 problems only, 50 points in the 60% category. Should be a nice grade if you understand what's going on. So, if you would like to put this on the back of your notes or your math workshop or whatever you can, what I'm looking at is in your book, go to page 11. I want to talk about number 18 from yesterday. Okay, so we started off this chapter with statements. And so we say a sentence like, I'm holding a pencil, and then we have to decide if that is a true or false statement. And it really just depends. If I say I'm holding a pen right now, that's true. If now I say I'm holding a pen, that's false. I put down my pen, I'm not holding a pen, I'm lying. So our statements are either true or false. But of course, as is life, sometimes we make things more complicated, and we put an operator in between to make an even longer compound statement. We've been learning about 2 different operators. What are the 2 operators? We've learned about and and or. Brittany gets another point. We've learned about and. I can't spell today. Whew. We've done this one, which is and. And we've done this one, which is or. And remember, and looks like an A. That's how I keep them straight. And looks like an A. Otherwise, Lauren's like, how do you tell the difference? But and looks like an A. Okay. So, yesterday, you were doing great, and then we hit some speed bumps at number 18. And I remember I helped at least one person from each group, but I want to make sure everybody in the group is on the same page. So, if we have 2 statements, and normally we use the letters P and Q, the way your normal math teacher, if you were graphing, we use X and Y. We normally just use P's and Q's, the truth tables. Now, normally you would pray, you would have one completely filled in. And for the test this next Tuesday, you will have a blank table like you did on number 18. But eventually we're going to be so smart that you're going to make this on your own, the way I'm making it on my own now. Okay, so I'm actually going to break apart the problem in your book. I'm going to make a table for P and Q, and I'm going to make a whole separate table for P or Q, just to keep my life straight. When they start combining stuff and doing too many things at once, that's when my brain just can't handle it. Okay, so we discussed, and it will be blank, a truth table always starts off TTFF, TFTF. If there are 2 variables, a truth table always starts off like this. Now, Forrest can be rebellious. He doesn't have to put it exactly in the order I put it in as long as he lists all his options. But what? What's the concern? If you don't have it in my order, why should you be concerned?
Because you have to do more work.
Yes. And then I might stare longer at your paper. And do you really want me staring any longer at your paper than needed?
No.
Probably not. So, again, and if you're wanting to think this through like a coin toss, it's if Caitlin's tossing 2 coins, she got 2 heads, she got tails and heads, she got heads and tails, she got 2 tails. It's just all the different options. If she was doing a coin toss, 2 coins, all her different options. She might get 2 heads, she might get 2 tails, she might get some combo in between. Okay, so if we're going through this, I think we're going to hold my remote. We'll say, hello dear, we'll say P is for pen and Q is for remote. So the first thing, it says they're both true, so I'm going to hold both, and it's P and Q. So if I say the sentence, I'm holding my pen and my remote, is that a true statement?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to put true. Now the next one down says, yes, P for pen, I've got that, that's true. It says put the remote down because the remote's false. So if I say the sentence, I'm holding my pen and my remote, is that true?
No.
No, I don't have my remote. So we're going to say that's false. The next one down, don't hold your pen, do hold your remote. If I say the sentence, because it's an and, I'm holding my pen and my remote, is that true?
No.
No, so we're going to put false. And then the last one, what if I'm holding nothing? Because they're both false. And I say, I'm holding my pen and my remote. Is that true? No, so it's false. The basic and table will always look like this. You have to have both true in order to be true. So there's only one instance where it is true. There will either be, I'm not going to put both, I'm not that dumb. There will either be a basic and table, or a basic or a table on the test, and that's telling you which one of these two. So if Eric, who's Eric? There's no Eric in here. If Forrest just knows this, has this memorized, I'm going to put one of these two. So either he understands it and can make his own, or he's memorized it because he understands it's one of the 5 test questions next Tuesday. Okay, so next truth table I'm making, it still starts off the same way. All my options, TTFF, TFTF. But you see that symbol there is an or. An or. So it changes my sentence. Instead of saying I'm holding my pen and my remote, I say I'm holding my pen or my remote. So right now they're both true, so I'm holding both items. If I say I'm holding my pen or my remote, good Lord, is that a true statement? Yeah, I have both, so that's true. Okay, next line down says hold your pen, don't hold your remote. But I say I'm holding my pen or my remote. Is that true?
Yeah.
Next line down says don't hold pen, do hold your remote. Same sentence. I'm holding my pen or my remote. Is that true?
Yeah.
Last one says don't hold either, and I say the sentence I'm holding my pen or my remote. Is that true? No. So with an or, as long as there's one T, as long as one of your statements is true, the whole thing's true. Let me say that again. With an or, as long as one of your statements is true, the whole thing's true. Every single time. So I believe most people had their number 18 correct, but maybe you need to correct your column in number 18 now based off this. Maybe you do. I don't know you that well. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Okay, then let's look at, I told you to stop when you hit 23, so let's look at 23 and see why we got scared. Okay, I know the board is lying, because it says it wants you to do all, no, we're not. Our goal today is literally just to finish 2.1.2. I do not anticipate us doing 2.1.3. You could get ahead and do so, but seriously, as long as Forrest finishes all of page 12, he gets through number 26 today, I'm happy he can call it a day. Okay, so truth tables seem kind of easy when there's 2 variables. There's good news for Misha. On Tuesday, because this is a basic does Lauren understand truth tables, I will only have 2 variables. It will only be P and Q. Or only, I might not always use P and Q because life's got to be different sometimes, but only 2 variables. I'm not going to do the 3 like in 23. Because in 23 there's P, there's Q, and there's R. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I promise on Tuesday, only 2 variables. Okay. We don't have to tell everybody I wrote all over your textbook, but I'm about to change the textbook. Okay. Your textbook thinks that you're a genius. And maybe you are a genius, and you can fill in that 3rd column on your own, that 4th column on your own quickly. Me, I'm not a genius. I need some extra columns. So, we did discuss, it always starts off T, 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 F, 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 F. It's always 4 T's. This is the 4's column. 4 T's, 4 F's. If there are 3 variables, it still has a set pattern. 4 T's, 4 F's. For the 2nd column, still a set pattern, it does pairs. So 2 T's, 2 F's, 2 T's, 2 F's. It does pairs, or 2's. And then the 3rd column, it does the singles, just ones at a time. So just T, just F, just T, just F, just T, F, T, F. But again, this is all just supposed to represent if Caitlin's now flipping 3 coins, what if she got all heads? What if she got all tails? And what if she got 2 heads, 1 tail? Like, it has all the options. If she's flipping 3 coins, all it's making is a list of all the options. Okay. But then here's where your textbook thinks you're a genius. It thinks you can jump from these 3 basic columns to the answer. I'm not that good. I don't know about you. But that's not me. So, instead, I'm going to make some extra room. I'm going to get rid of that for a second. I'll bring it back in a moment. I'm going to get rid of this too. I think you should add 2 extra columns. Now, if Lauren figures it out without adding extra columns, good for her. Again, Miss Compton, not really. Truth tables have always been a struggle for me. I'm trying real hard on them, figure them out one step at a time, keep it easy. So the reason I'm adding extra columns is it helps keep my life easy. Okay, so on your original column, yes dear?
Why are the numbers at the bottom?
Oh, I was saying it did the 4s, it did the 2s, it did the 1s. 4 T's, 4 F's, pairs, and then singles. Okay, so before I went scribbling in your book, this column used to say P or Q and R. So I'm going to do just P or Q. And then I'm going to do the giant statement, P or Q and R. Okay, now let's talk about why Miss Compton makes an extra column. Why I make my life more complicated. I don't really like just having to jump to this. Again, maybe you can jump to that answer, but I can't. When I'm doing a truth table, I like to do the way you and I just filled in the ands or the ors. I like to compare 2 columns and think about the third. So let me remind you, just a second ago, we would compare 2 columns and think about the third. And then life was easier. If I'm only looking at 2 things, I can figure out the third thing. And that's what I do with truth tables. So if I'm only looking at P or Q, which is going to be this column, and I'm only looking at R, then literally to fill in this column, I'm just going to compare the green and the orange. So I look at the green and the orange, I figure out an answer. I look at the green and the orange, I figure out an answer. I only have to look at 2 columns. Forget the other columns. I only have to look at 2 columns to help me figure out my answer. Okay. So your other statement was P or Q and R. So I would make another column for the thing in parentheses, the Q and R. And then I would say I only have to look at this yellow column for the Q and R. I only have to look at the P column, which I'll color blue. So for that last column, I only have to look at the yellow and the blue to figure out my last answer. I only like to have to look at 2 columns at a time. So I look at this one, I look at this one, I see 2 T's, so I put T. I see 2 F's, so I put F. I only do 2 columns at a time. Otherwise, life gets overwhelming. Now, if you're genius and you don't need extra columns, you don't have to. Ms. Compton, how do you decide the extra columns? Well, anybody in parentheses, that's who I decide gets a column of their own, because they be special. So, for instance, down at 26, I would make a P and Q column because P and Q was in parentheses. I would make a P and R column because that was in parentheses. Now, do you have to be like me and make all these extra columns and, as last period put it, make all this extra work? No. But again, that helps me simplify things. So if you're super stuck, that is my suggestion. Now again, I'm only expecting you to do 23 through 26 today. I'm going to walk around and help you. If you get this done and want to start the next one, it's not hard. I just thought, my God, if Allison can figure out to 26 today, she's had a good day. Okay, are there any questions about this? Okay, I'm going to walk around and help you, I promise. I have your tests almost all the way graded. Hopefully we can see those by the end of the period too, hopefully.